Hello, I'm Matt Galloway, and this is the Current Podcast.
Let's go, Blue Jays! Let's go!
Springer hit a dinger, let's go!
That was the craziest game I've seen in my life. I'm feeling amazing right now. I cannot believe that Springer home run.
So excited for these boys. We've been working so hard all year. We deserve it more than anybody.
I knew that we had the heart. Our players are way too good. They're way too smart.
I honestly couldn't breathe. I was crying.
We're not worried about you, Dodgers. We're not worried about you.
Toronto Blue Jays are going to the World Series. It will be the first time since 1993, 32 years since they have been to the big show. Last night's Game 7 was not for the faint of heart, but the Jays managed to pull off their best run in decades, winning 4-3 against the Seattle Mariners. Buck Martinez saw the game firsthand in what some of us still call the Sky Dome. He is the longtime Blue Jays broadcaster. Before that, the team's manager and catcher. Buck, good morning.
Good morning, Matt. How are you doing today?
Before the game, you said that someone will do something special and be remembered for years to come. Describe that moment that George Springer launched the Jays into the World Series.
Yeah, you know what? Everybody remembers Joe Carter in 93 and Edwin Encarnacion against Baltimore and Jose Bautista's bat flip. Now George Springer is in that same class. You know, when you play a Game 7, something's going to happen that'll last for a lifetime. And certainly Springer has one of those moments now. You know, Seattle's bullpen was so good all year long and so good in the playoffs that you just felt like if Seattle was late in the game and the Blue Jays had to beat the bullpen, it would be a tough assignment. But, boy, Springer came through just like he's been doing all season long.
He's a special player, and he seemed to knock it out. I mean, he got drilled in the knee just a couple of games ago. I don't know what kind of pain he is in, but he seems like this is the moment for him.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the kind of season he's had. You know, last year he had a very disappointing season, but he put his work in the off season. He came into camp with a re-energized attitude, and he's really been a terrific leader all season long. It started in spring training. You know, he didn't have a very good spring. In fact, he started in the lineup hitting sixth. He just wasn't swinging the bat very well early on, but boy, he caught fire. First time in his career, he's at 300. And, you know, he's been down this road so many times. He's had so much postseason experience. He's been a sounding board for this team all postseason. And I think now it's a wonderful opportunity. You're right. I spoke to his dad last night after the game, and George Sr. said that George could barely walk. He got hit on that right knee, a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and there was some doubt whether or not he would even play. But not only did he play, he led the team to the World Series. That's a pretty special moment for him.
Tell me about this team. I mean, they go down 2-0. They go to Seattle. They win 2 of 3. Then they lose. Then they win the final 2 at home. What is special about this team?
Well, you know, it's the closest team I've ever seen in this franchise history, as long as I've been here since 1981. These guys truly love one another. You heard it time and time again last night after the game, the postseason interviews. They always talked about how close this team was, how close their families are. You know, a bunch of Americans living in Canada, they've really united here. They've embraced the country. They've embraced the fan base. And it's just a special group of players that always believed they could get it done. And I said this last night, I don't think the Blue Jays ever received the credit during the regular season for the season they were having. And now you can't ignore what they've done. You know, they beat the Yankees, they beat the Mariners, now they're going to play the Dodgers. And I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Dodgers either, because that's the character of this team.
Do you think, I mean, when you say didn't receive the credit, is part of that from U.S. media? I remember when the Jays won it all in 92, 93, and people down south, baseball in Canada, isn't it cold all the time up there? I mean, is that part of it?
Yeah, I think it is. You know, and I felt the same way when I came here as a player in 1981. I thought, what am I going to do in Canada playing baseball? And here we are in 2025. I'm still here in one of the best baseball cities in the world. And the country has embraced this team from day one. 77 when it started, and you know, I think it's only appropriate that next year will be their 50th year, and hopefully they'll be the reigning world champs when that year starts next year.
What do you think this means for the team, for the country, and also for the city? I was downtown in Toronto 8 hours before the game started, and it seemed like every third or fourth person had some Jays gear on, and that would have only multiplied as it got closer to game time. What does this mean? We call it Canada's team. What does it mean for this country, do you think?
Well, it's incredible when we see the fans at Rogers Center and around the town. They come from all over. They come from the west. They come from the north. They come from the east, and they're just fans that love their team. And I think it's special because they truly embrace the fact that it's the only baseball team in Canada, and they're so proud of that. And now they have even more pride in what they've accomplished to this point. And it's certainly going to be a fun World Series. But you know what? These are special people. They love their team. The team has returned that love to the fan base. And time again last night during the celebration, they all mentioned how the fan base has supported them and energized them through this run here in October.
Is there a little small part of you that is pleased to see Seattle get stuffed? I mean, when you were playing and it was a Mariner that came sliding into home plate, broke your leg, and yet you still managed to complete the double play all those years ago. Are you happy to see the back of them?
Yeah, you know what? That was such a long time ago. I'm just happy for the Blue Jays. I think there was a little bit of an emotional letdown after they beat the Yankees, and you kind of saw that in the first two games of this series because they didn't do anything in the first two games, and Vladdy was 0 for 7. The team only had 5 hits in 2 games, and I think there was a bit of an emotional letdown, but they certainly got their energy back for the rest of the series, and now they can have a few days off before they look to start the World Series against the Dodgers on Friday night.
Let's talk about the Dodgers. I mean, everybody speaks about their pitcher, Shohei Ohtani, who, I mean, in that game on Friday, he had 10 strikeouts. Then he hit 3 home runs at the plate, including one that flew out of the stadium, over the top and out of the stadium. Do the Jays have any business thinking that they can beat this team, or is it entirely within the realm of possibility, given how they're playing, that they should think that they can beat the Dodgers?
Yeah, you know what? Baseball is such a close game. We talk about it being a matter of inches, and you never know who's going to get hot. It could be a role player. It could be somebody like Ernie Clement coming up with a big hit. Yeah, the Dodgers have the star power. There's no question about that. With Ohtani and Betts and Freddie Freeman and Teoscar Hernandez, Clayton Kershaw, their pitching staff is terrific. But you know what? You play the games on the field, and it's a matter of who has the bigger heart, who has the bigger determination, and who makes the crucial pitch or has the big at bat in a pivotal point of a ball game. So I think it's going to be a dramatic World Series. I don't think the Blue Jays are thinking that the Dodgers are going to roll over them at all. I think they're ready for a competitive 7-game World Series.
I'm going to let you go, but you said something earlier, which is that you're still here, and this matters. You had a rough go, lung cancer this summer, and you're back in the booth, as you should be, calling these games and letting us know what's going on. What does it mean for you to be here in this moment?
Well, it's pretty special. You know what? The last couple of years have kind of been a challenge. My wife has been a phenomenal support, and she's helped me get through this. And the Rogers people have been very supportive and allowed me to take care of myself first and foremost. And now I'm healthy again and back in the booth and looking forward to starting the World Series. It's magical because Dan and I are the only broadcasters in baseball that get a chance to do their own team's postseason games on television. And we really appreciate that. We enjoy that. And we want to make sure we do the best job possible for our viewers.
Friday won't be Friday without your voice coming through the television. It's great to talk to you. Get a couple of days rest and get ready for Friday. It's going to be something else. Buck, thank you.
All right. You bet, Matt. Great to talk to you.
Buck Martinez, broadcaster for the Toronto Blue Jays on Sportsnet, former catcher and manager with the team. Speaking of catchers, another Jays great joins us now. Pat Borders, former Blue Jays catcher, played in the 92-93 World Series. The last time the Jays won it all, he was the World Series MVP in 1992. Pat Borders, good morning to you.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Well, I'm okay. Did that Springer home run remind you of Joe Carter's shot that won it all in 93?
Oh, my goodness, a lot of similarities there. It was good to see him step forward after getting injured like that, hit the knee, and just fight through the pain, which he obviously did, and shows the character of the team a little bit. Buck was talking a little bit earlier about the cohesiveness and how close the team was, and the closest team. I would say the 92-93 teams that we had rival that, but that's exactly what you need, and I see that a lot of similarities with the team chemistry, the team makeup. A lot of them came up through the minor leagues together like the teams of the past that I played on did, and you are close, and that is a part that you need to win, especially in the postseason. You see some other teams try to put together teams and outpay everybody and bring people together, and sometimes most times that doesn't work when you try to get personalities together like that. The personalities that come up through the minor leagues, such as our teams in the 90s and the team you have there right now. A lot of the young kids came up together. A big percentage of the team played in the minor leagues together, and you can't recreate that kind of chemistry and closeness that you're going to get in the minor leagues. They also brought in some big players that always had personality, chemistry, knowledge, experience, and all those things too. So I think there was a huge similarities between the teams that I played for in the 90s and this team this year. And I see good things happen for them.
What is it like to play in the World Series?
You can't describe it. But after the game was over, I know I was mentally exhausted. I went home and slept. People think you want to go out and party and have a good time, which we had a great time after the games. However, mentally exhausted, the concentration level that you have to have as a baseball player, as a pitcher, as a catcher, hitting, it's a constant a battle of all right. How did you get this guy out? The next guy you got to get out. Do you change it up a little bit? Do you switch it? Any pitch or any moment can change the outcome of the series and the game. For me, it was just a mentally exhausting time, and when it was over, I was ready to get to sleep, ready to get to bed. Do
you remember what it did to the city of Toronto? I remember when the Jays won the first time, walking from Midtown to downtown Toronto because you couldn't get a cab. The subways were full of people, and the streets were just jammed, full of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Do you remember what it did to a city like Toronto?
Funny you should mention that, because I mentioned that the last time I was up there a couple of weeks ago, and I felt the same energy that I hadn't felt since the 90s. Mm-hmm. It was there was playoff runs and people getting to the playoffs, teams getting to the playoffs. However, I didn't feel the energy that I felt the last time up there, and I actually mentioned that to someone. I said, "There's a lot of similarities between the teams. Also, the city with the energy and the excitement you just see walking down the street. You see people like Buck mentioned a couple minutes ago about people wearing Blue Jays gears, every third person. It was the energy unlike I had seen in a couple decades.
You think they can do this against the Dodgers?
I think anybody can do anything in the playoffs. You have a 7-game series. It's not super long. It's not like a 162 game season. Who gets hot? Teams, batters, pitchers get, they have little bell curves of cyclical good and bad times. I think, I think someone said that Springer a few minutes ago wasn't swinging the bat terribly well when he went into the playoffs, and now he is. I think baseball is kind of like that. You go through good times and bad times. You just ride the wave of the good times, and hopefully it's during the time of the playoffs.
And there's an opportunity just finally for somebody to be like you. I mean, you were a hero. You're still a hero in this town and in this country. There's an opportunity for somebody else to take that crown.
Oh, please do. You got Springer did that, and there's plenty of people going to step up and do that. Somebody comment, him stepping up. I didn't follow what he did much during the season, but he has been on fire and unstoppable as of late. So anybody can step up and change Blue Jay history, which he did last night.
Pat Borders, really good to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Pat Borders is a former Blue Jays catcher, played in the 92-93 World Series when the Jays last won it all. He, of course, was the MVP in 1992 as well. A few weeks ago, early in the playoffs, we spoke with a woman named Debbie Rafuse. She lives in Chester, Nova Scotia. Blue Jays superfan. We heard from many, many people who said, you should have her on again. You should have her on more during these playoffs. Debbie, good morning.
Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Did you get any sleep last night?
I'm actually running on adrenaline. 3 hours. 3 hours sleep.
It was your man, George Springer, your favorite player, who hit the dinger, who put the Jays into the World Series. Describe, what were you doing? Were you on the edge of the couch? Are you standing up? Are you lying down? How were you watching that?
I was sitting up in my bed with my Blue Jays pillow behind me, with my Blue Jays blanket. And I was messaging back and forth with my friends. And when it got to maybe the bottom of the sixth, just before Springer got up to bat, my friends were saying, so what do you think? Do you think we're going to pull this off? And I said, listen, you just need to believe. You just need to believe, and I know it's going to happen. And then Springer got up and bang! Woohoo! He got the Springer dinger.
How much noise? You probably would have heard you hollering all the way up to Halifax and Truro and beyond, right?
Probably. And, I kept saying to myself this morning, okay, don't get on the radio now and start screaming and yelling and going crazy. And I said, okay. But I lied. Woohoo! I'm going to the World Series.
You're welcome to scream and yell anytime. So, hey, last time we talked about that George Springer doll that you had made, right? Where is it now?
The last I heard, it did make it in the hands of the general manager of the Blue Jays.
So it's getting closer to George.
Yes.
Maybe he even has seen the doll.
I don't know. I haven't heard. I can't wait. Everyone at around home here, they're so excited, and they keep messaging me and saying, did George get his doll yet? What's going on? And I said, well, I don't know because I haven't heard. Everyone's excited, and no one's more excited than myself. So the
last two guests that we have had on, Buck Martinez and Pat Borders, have both said that this team is special. What to you makes this team special? The players. The players, you know what? I've never seen a team, and I've watched baseball for many years, and actually I've been a fan of the Blue Jays for 47 years. Yeah. And I've noticed with this team that they're so together, and they love each other so much, and they help each other out. And when one is down, the other one will bring the other one back up, and just keep, telling each other, we can do this. And I don't know, I've just seen, like George Springer, I find he's such a leader. He'll get in the dugout, and if someone does something wrong, he helps them. And he did the day that, I think it was David Snyder, he was at bat, and he had like 14 balls batted. Mm. And in the end, he got out. But when he got back to the dugout, the first one to come to him was George Springer, and he put his arm around him. And I know he was saying to him, listen, buddy, you did great. You got the pitcher doing 14 pitches, and now his pitch count is going up because of you. So don't be sad. This is great. You did a wonderful job. I see that in a lot. Vladdy is the same. Vladdy's great. He just keeps, pumping and going on. And this team is just wonderful. And I'm so happy for every single one of them. They've worked so hard, and they deserve to be where they are. It was your mom that got you into the Jays.
It was my mom. Yes.
You think of her last night when you were watching that game?
I sure was. I'm sitting here now with her pin on my sweater, yes.
Her pin on your sweater?
Yes, I have. She gave me a pin, and it says 1977, April 7th, the very first game that Toronto played with the Chicago White Sox. She gave that pin to me, and I wear it on my Blue Jays sweater.
It's a bit of good luck.
This would have been awesome if she was here to see this, because her and I saw both World Series in 92 and 93, and if she could have been here to see this one, she would have been bouncing off the wall. Mm. She was a sweetheart, and I love her, and I miss her, but I have her pin, so that's great.
And so what will you do on Friday? Game 1 of the World Series.
Game 1 of the World Series. I don't know. I'm still on the adrenaline from last night, so I don't even know what I'm going to be doing, but I know one thing. I'll be watching the game.
Whatever you did last night, do it again on Friday, because that was good luck.
I certainly will. And I have my little Springer bobblehead standing here alongside of me that my two really wonderful best friends gave me. And my heart was broke. Oh, my heart was so full. They actually gave up the George Springer bobblehead just for me. So I love them both.
Debbie, I'll tell you, people coast to coast to coast wrote in to us after you were last on the program and said, put her back on the radio. You're welcome here anytime. You're a bit of good luck for us. Thanks for talking to us, and go Jays.
Thank you so much, Matt. And thank you, everyone out there. I love you all. Thank you. Look out Friday. Here we come.
Debbie Rafuse is a Blue Jays superfan. She was in Chester, Nova Scotia. You've been listening to The Current Podcast. My name is Matt Galloway. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you soon.